I just detest rude, unladylike young ladies.
I hope you don't mind me being a tad rude.
I myself am strange and unusual.
Don't be rude.
That is some weird, wild stuff.
Shocking, isn't it?
It's a scandal,
But it's provocative.
Please stop making me blush.
Ew, it is Society Chats with Rachel and Laura. I'm Laura.
We both started at the same time. I'm Rachel.
I'm Laura. We're not editing that, everyone. Just enjoy it because this is not a real episode. This is, as Rachel had been saying, the Relax Fit episodes where we just get on here, chit-chat, get ourselves warmed up for our full of knowledge and research episodes. And this is us just talking about our lives, telling you what's going on with us.
Right. So if you haven't listened to an episode, if this is the first time our voices have graced your ear holes, just go ahead and hit stop now. Go find one of our really fun and exciting episodes about some taboo topics. And then after you decided that you like us, then come hang out with us, okay?
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of these episodes.
Yeah, this is not like first date material. This is like 10th date material.
Sitting in your sweatpants, eating high sodium takeout material.
100%. This is
That's
not our
where
first
we're
interaction.
And we're trying to get it a little bit more higher brow. I think we've started to try to bring things that we've learned to the table in addition to
What we've been watching.
the media that we've been binging. And along those lines, Laura, I have to ask you, how are you doing? How's your spring been?
I want to say that it's great, because I love spring and the sun is coming out and it's getting warmer and it feels good. I have just been a little bit funky. I think that vacation that I took really threw me. It really knocked me for a loop and I'm just like kind of in a funk.
That is so real because I think I might hate spring a little bit because I've been feeling miserable as well. Like you said,
allergies?
Well, that is one of the theories. But I knew you were saying, you were like, oh, I've been feeling a little down lately. Mm-hmm. I've been way out of my routine, way not myself.
Yep.
And then I see a TikTok as I'm scrolling that says, hey, PSA, suicide attempts go up in the spring. And I'm like, what is happening?
True? Did you
That's
verify
true.
it?
I did. I Googled and I searched it. And then I found an academic study that I'm like, I got to bring this to the table for our chat today. Because not only is it actually like widely known that suicides spike in spring and summer, my theory is it's like the antidepressant effect where you're starting to come out of your seasonal affective disorder, but you're not quite getting that vitamin D enough yet. So you have more energy. You're just applying it in all the wrong ways.
You're spurred into action, but action on the wrong thing.
Right. That's my theory. There's a lot of other theories. And one of the theories that I saw was that in fact, allergies are throwing people off. They looked at a sample of suicides that came from people without any previous anxiety or depressive disorders. And one of the theories they had was that because tree pollen spikes in the early spring, that these people were then feeling so out of it that they killed themselves. And, I didn't even read the whole story because after I saw that
sounds insane.
The first thing that popped into my head.
What?
Do you know the movie The Happening by M. Night Shyamalan? I'm like, it's real.
I was thinking about fungus and about how fungus can like warp the brains of ants or whatever. You know what I mean?
Like Trackadaka Boo Boo or whatever that comes out of the cat poop.
It's a T.
I was close.
Toxoplasmosis. Yeah, but that's what I was thinking. Like, the allergies and spores. Spores are freaky. Spores in the air, making your brain go crazy. I mean, that's a possibility.
And making you off yourself. The trees are literally out to get us. I could not. I was dying, and I told my husband, and he also was cracking up. I'm like, I gotta go stick my head in a lion's mouth or something. What are all the weird ways people killed themselves in that movie? Lay down in front of a lawnmower?
I've never seen it, but I'm familiar with the concept of the movie, but I have never seen it. But I've seen multiple videos referencing it and making fun of it, especially Mark Wahlberg.
So egregious. But now I'm thinking M. Night Shyamalan probably saw the study and extrapolated on that fact because it's based. He should have put on his.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, on the trailer, based on a true story. Some of this is fact, potentially.
Some of this potentially is fact. I think maybe it's like, oh, people are like, I'm getting through the winter. It sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. And things will be better in the spring. Things will be better. And then spring comes and you're like, it's not better. And then you crash and burn.
Yep, that is exactly what other people were saying online too.
Yeah,
where it's like you keep holding out and then nothing changes.
Yeah.
But according to this study, which we can link, it says that tree pollen peaks in the spring, which could result in seasonally increased cytokine. I've never heard cytokine production in the upper airway, resulting in increased exacerbation of mood disturbances.
There we go. It's the fucking trees.
They're literally suffocating us from the inside out to the point where we decide to end it all.
And whatever's going on in my fucking eyeball. I'm not going to talk about my eyeball drama, but that is just, Rachel knows about it, but I'm not going to describe it for the listener. It's making my life a little bit unhappy.
Right. But you can't let the eyeball win, just like we can't let the trees win. So if you're feeling down, don't get taken out by a tree. Stick it out. That's what I gotta say.
Or an eyeball.
Yeah, especially an eyeball. Stick it out, literally. Stick in the, yank it out.
Dude,
cut out your eye. What is it? I cut out the eye that betrays me.
I bite the hand that feeds me?
No, I think it's cut off the hand that betrays you or something like that. But in this case, it's gouge out the eye that gets a clogged tear duct. But I think the tear duct would still be there regardless. Anyways, so outside of feeling like a bummer and having a jacked up eye, what are some good things that you're enjoying right now?
I'm watching Orange is the New Black. We've talked about that. But I'm not going to do a show recap because we already did that. I do have something also educational that I wanted to bring to the table today.
Ooh.
About glitter. What do you know about glitter, Rachel?
Well, it's made from fairy excrement, correct? And unicorn? Oh, damn. I thought I had that.
So glitter apparently is a mystery industry. Nobody really talks about what it is or how it's made.
So you're telling me I could be right, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, potentially, yes, that has been thrown out as a potential, but glitter is actually called, hold on, aluminum metallized polyethylene triethylate. That is the technical term for glitter. So it's like a microplastic or micro aluminum, I guess. But here's the thing. There are two major world producers of glitter. They are the OG glitter people, both based in New Jersey. And like I said, they're very secretive. They don't do plant tours. Remember the how it's made.
Can you imagine if you walk through it, you would never be able to wear those clothes ever again.
But yeah,
that's really for our good. They're protecting us from ourselves.
But they're secretive. They don't really do interviews. They don't let how it's made, from the Discovery Channel through the doors or Modern Marvels or any of this different kind of stuff. It's a secretive hush-hush industry. And I've just discovered something that is apparently old news to the internet, but I'm just discovering it, which is the Great Glitter Conspiracy of 2018.
What?
So basically, a New York Times writer got into the glitter factory. I don't know whose dick she sucked or whatever, but she
it's 2025. It's 2018. We're past that.
I'm sorry. I don't know whose palm she greased with lots of cash. Is that better?
Maybe she just applied for a job. 2018?
No, they knew she was a journalist.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I don't know how she got through the door, because like this was like the wall, right? And
glittery
she got
wall.
the glittery wall, and she got in there and she got some interviews with people. And in this interview, the executive from, I believe it is GlitterX, this executive did reveal that the glitter color that they sell, scratch that. But this executive did reveal that their biggest client is 100% confidential. Somebody that they don't want the public to know that they are the ones that buy the most glitter from GlitterX.
Is so like the Republican National Party, the GOP.
The grinder.
Right? They're just having grinder parties with excessive glitter.
Just add that to the list, because this is the glitter conspiracy. Because, okay, the writer who was known as Katie Weaver. I'm sorry, Katie. And I feel bad. I said that dumb thing and I like was an asshole. And so Rachel rightly called me on it. I'm sorry, Katie.
She's like, it's okay. I can't hear you. I'm too busy sucking dicks right now.
But so she asked her, basically, what is your biggest market? And her answer was, quote, I absolutely know that I cannot tell you that. And they're like, she was like, well, do you know who it is? And the executive's like, yeah, of course I know. But this was it, quote, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that, because they don't want anyone to know that it's glitter. And then that's the exchange. And then she said, if I looked at it, I wouldn't know it was glitter. And the executive said, no, not really. And she says, would I be able to see the glitter? And the executive says, oh, you'd be able to see something, but yeah, I can't. I can't tell you what it is. And so this is the glitter conspiracy.
So everybody's speculating on what it is.
Exactly. And I've read through a bunch of different Reddit threads about it, and it's actually quite interesting. But my favorite thing is that everyone is like, automotive paint.
Oh, yeah, I could see
sidewalk.
that.
No, it's glittery. You can tell that it's glittery. Like, why would that be a secret? It's something that is not known to be sparkly or glittery in the way that we think about it.
But then why would it need the glitter?
That is exactly the question. That's why the conspiracy and the titillation comes in.
I think it's got to be some kind of food. They're like filling out food.
That was one of my thoughts as well. So that is immediately what I thought. And one of the leading theories is something food or food-like.
Yeah.
Toothpaste was high up on the list. And I'm like, oh, I could definitely see
Well, because then
that.
like can't the little greases of aluminum like kind of exfoliate or polish your teeth?
Yes,
so that they
but then
look
they're going to
whiter?
get like stuck in your gums and shit and end up in your bloodstream.
Well, that's why they don't want you to know.
Exactly. So that that's one of my top ones is toothpaste or some other food or food-like item. What's a food that looks glittery but you don't think, hey, that's glittery?
Well, one time I left extra roast beef from my wedding in the freezer, and then once I thawed it and ate it,
Ooh,
it
it
had
gets
like
that
a rainbow sheen on it.
Yeah, that's super common for roast beef. I looked it up one time.
But it was like, it's pretty.
It is pretty.
It's big roast beef that's buying all the glitter.
It's something about
to feed
iron,
the cows.
I think. And then another one was the government for either money or passports or something. And I'm like, money is kind of shiny. And I thought that was pretty high up on the list. But my favorite was explosives.
Yeah, that sounds right too. It's either something you're eating, like people don't want you to know they're eating a bunch of glitter, or they don't want to know that glitter is being used as like tiny shrapnel or something.
Or no, as a identifier. So, identifying explosions and who made it, where it comes from, what kind of thing it was, is like a whole forensic science. And what is the name for it? It was like Taggarts or something. But like they put them in like combustible materials as a signature. So if somebody were to go off the rails and use something where they're not supposed to, or how they're supposed to, when they analyze that information, they can say, this came from blank. So they can kind of trace it back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like kind of like when the ink packet explodes.
Yes.
When you rob a bank.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that money obviously came from that bank.
Yes, precisely. That is the exact kind of theory.
So
to
instead of
this
using a
theory.
specific color, they're just doing glitter. Well, I guess because
a specific type of glitter, right?
Yeah.
So each kind of manufacturer of these kinds of materials would then have their own glitter signature that is kind of, and then that would be kind of wrapped up with the government. If saying
Right.
like, no, we report to you what this is so that you can keep tabs on it.
Right. Okay, that totally makes sense because it's so small that you can't like take it out. There's
Yep.
still little pieces in there.
Yep.
So like the outcome maybe isn't necessarily like a glitter bomb.
Uh-huh.
But it's like there's enough of it left behind that under a microscope you can be like, oh, obviously this comes from this place. And that would also make sense why it's secret because you could see how crazy everybody's getting about government spending. Imagine you hear there's like $100 million spent on glitter every year. That would drive people nuts.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the
no
thought?
more glitter. No more glitter.
Right? They would just be like, what are they using it for?
Tagant.
Parties,
That's what it's
obviously.
called.
Tag it.
A tagant is a physical or chemical marker added to materials to allow various forms of testing. Physical tagans can take many different forms, but are typically microscopic in size.
Yeah, that's my guessing. It's got to be something nefarious, like not nefarious, but something dark. Like glitter doesn't want to be
deep
associated
cut, right?
with bombs.
Something deep cut, I think, is essentially.
Yeah, it's either that or food, but I can't think of any food.
That's glittery, right?
Right.
Except
That
for
would-
toothpaste. But that's not really a food, but still, I don't want it in there.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Now I'm going to look at everything, see if it's got some glitter to it.
I know, right? It's been hanging out in the back of my mind ever since I read a little thing about it. And
Do some Reddit deep diving.
well,
later.
this is again another one that came from my husband, kind of like the
Eating
chalk.
dirt. Yeah.
The eating dirt, yeah. Where he was like, "Did you know that all glitter is made in New Jersey?" And I'm like, "That cannot be right." And and I looked it up, and I was right. It's not all glitter is made in New Jersey, but a fuck ton of glitter is made in New Jersey.
absolutes are never real, right?
Yeah.
But
And yeah, I was like, because you're telling me like this cheap ass glitter that I get from the dollar store is made in New Jersey. I don't think so.
Because
I'm like,
there's,
this
like,
is coming
different-
from China.
There's different grades of glitter, right?
Yeah,
There's,
that's
like,
immediately what I thought too. There's
the
like craft
fine,
glitter,
like
that's like
actual glitter, and then the more like confetti glitter.
yeah, exactly. Cosmetic grade glitter. Whew, God, that stuff is so pretty too.
Wow, who knew? Who knew? That is definitely who doesn't love a good mystery, and that is
know.
a good mystery. And I think the best thing is that good old girl Katie was getting to live in 2018 and forever be a part of that year. I don't know. This
That
is a rough
mystery.
transition because I've been watching Love is Blind. So I'm going to take it a little bit lower brow here and talk about media again. Because I've been watching Love is Blind. The new season just ended. And
Is this show literally about a blind person?
No, it's where people date and they can't see each other and they get engaged without ever seeing each other. And then they have to
How do
decide
you
if they want to
date?
get married.
Whatever. Okay, whatever.
It's in a pod. It's a pod. So you talk, there's like a pod that's connected, I think probably with microphones. But
or
there's,
it's like a phone
screen.
call. Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, it's a phone
Yeah.
call, but they're in
Okay.
designated areas to talk to each other. Anyways, it's been going on since 2020. And because of this new season being out, I've like gone down the rabbit hole in Reddit and was filled with nostalgia to rewatch the first one that aired in 2020, which is close to 2018. And the world was so different 5 years ago. I'm just
How
like,
so?
I'm watching it and like the big scary things that people, the big secrets that people are holding is that one of them, the man was bi or fluid. So he had dated men in the past and that was a deal breaker. And I feel like that would definitely not fly today.
At least not in a dating show. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, in real life of regular people, yeah, I 100% see that being a deal breaker, especially in the Midwest where we are. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
seem like a non-issue in modern.
It would be like, oh my God, you're such a bigot. You have a problem with that? Like, that
and it wasn't even really that she had a problem with it. It's just that he waited until they were engaged to tell her, and then kind of like tried to gaslight her. But either way, Carlton, it was not cool. But it's not. I mean, it was just like that was the big bomb that he dropped, and then in another one, the big bomb was that she had an abortion, and it was like a big shameful thing, and I was like, what? This was in 2020 that was kind of the big piece. But then again, you got to look at your source here too, because in this last season, one of the guy's big trauma was that he had an ibuprofen addiction. So, I mean, maybe it's just love is blind. That was one of the things he said. It was like he was in so much pain that he got addicted to taking ibuprofen.
Nobody gets addicted to taking ibuprofen. Nobody gets high from ibuprofen.
Yeah, I want to say it's a non-addictive. Your body doesn't. I guess it builds a tolerance, but it doesn't. Get dependent.
Sure, and like you're gonna feel miserable because you're in pain, and your body isn't used to feeling that pain. But that's not the same as an addict. Yeah, okay. I'm calling everything you just said bullshit based on that.
No, everybody was so optimistic. It was all recorded and filmed in 2019, and that is a headspace we'll never get back to.
Can we just like pump the brakes on culture? I feel like it's just all moving too fast nowadays. Or am I just old?
Welcome to the internet age.
Yeah, but we've been in the internet age for like 20 years. Why did it just...
That's because you've wasted the last 5 years almost watching Paw Patrol. Got to keep with the times.
Paw Patrol!
You're only now just watching Orange is the New Black.
I know. Well, I made a conscious decision not to watch it at the time.
Why?
Because, it's like super popular and I'm like, whatever.
So that's the thing. Things are popular typically for a reason. Unless we're talking ACOTAR or any of
Marvel.
Colleen Hoover. Those are the other ones. I don't know why any of that's popular.
What is Colleen Hoover?
She's a very, very famous author.
See,
like popular fiction author, romance. It Ends With Us. Romance. Does that not ring of any bells?
No. Sorry.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, there you go.
I live under apparently a cultural rock. I don't know.
Seems to be that way. Just saying.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's just there's too much.
I guarantee
there's too much
you that
segmentation.
Your suburban mom neighbors are reading Colleen Hoover. There's probably so many copies of her books in your neighborhood right this second.
Let me look. I'm going to look at it and see if I know any covers.
Her book just came out in a movie. It Ends With Us with Selena Gomez. No, not Selena Gomez. What am I saying? Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
That's where that name. That's where that title sounds familiar.
Yeah, but she also wrote Verity, I believe. That one was. very bad.
All of these book covers look so fucking generic that I would just walk right past all.
Well, all the book covers look exactly the same.
They do
in this day and age. Anywho, though, how did we get to Colleen Hoover? Oh, things that are popular are typically good, except for most things that are popular. The things that are popular that are good are the ones that are good because I said so. Remember that.
Noted.
And if you want to pull yourself out from your cultural rock, no, just kidding. I found a nice.
I'm not watching Love Is Blind. If that's where you are going with this.
The first season was good. It's gotten a lot boringer, but I found a new song thanks to the PBS network.
What is it?
So Channel 9 here in St. Louis did like a little TikTok about how St. Louisians, is that what we call ourselves?
St. Louisians?
St. Louisans? St. Lunatics?
I like St. Louisians better.
St. Loserans?
Yeah.
We used Hoosier as an insult when it usually just means.
I think I did see this TikTok. Yeah.
Yes. And so they mentioned a song that is about Hoosiers called Hoosier Love that came out. I want to say it's like a ska sound.
Ha!
A ska sounding
I would totally
song.
love it then. Let
me look it up. Yeah, it's pretty good by MU330.
I've definitely heard of that band.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
That's cute.
An older band, right?
Yes, I want to say it's probably
90s, early 2000s.
And it has that sound. Obviously, it's ska. But they sing a song called Hoosier Love, and it's about South City. Hoosier Love, South St. Louis, Hoosier Love, or something like that. I don't know.
It is very unique. Do you want to impart to the listener what Hoosier means across the United States versus what it means in St. Louis.
And yeah, across the United States, it just means somebody from Indiana, right? Isn't there like sports team called the Hoosiers?
Are they like I don't know, but like Indiana, they're like, yeah, we're Hoosiers. We're Hoosiers. Like,
yeah, and to
like
me, that sounds so wrong to be so happily calling yourself a Hoosier, because in St. Louis, Hoosier is like kind of equated with white trash, right?
Yep.
Like you got a bunch of cars in your front yard. When we don't mow our grass for a while, I'm like, we got to mow our grass. We can't be the Hoosiers on the block, man.
Yeah.
That's what it means. Kind of like the scrubby house, right? The scrubby folks, people who don't have a lot of class. That's what it means.
Yeah.
And that's what the song is about. Talking about getting pregnant at 17, don't need school, don't need education. Your boyfriend beats you around. Like that's...
Did PBS do any enlightening on why this is? Like, I imagine just like one really angry guy in St. Louis that just hated someone from Indiana.
I mean, it's kind of like
spread the word, you know?
The best theory that they can think of is that there was a strike and the companies brought in workers from Indiana to kind of cross the picket line.
Or strike busters.
The TikTok that I watched talked about like workers specifically.
Okay.
So that's where you Hoosier coming in here and like, you know, do anything for a buck.
Yeah. That sounds most legit.
I mean, PBS, it's got no room to lie.
Yeah. I'll put my stake behind PBS.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, even going to our media, we go back to history and facts.
Because we're dorks.
Yep. Because I get my music recs from PBS, the public broadcasting station.
Ska bands from 1997.
Yep. I was literally skanking on a stump in the park today.
I don't blame you.
As that song played and my husband walked up and I'm like, yeah, who's that skanking on the stump? The love of your life and mother of your children.
Drink it in, fucker.
Like a true Hoosier.
Well, all right. I think this ends it for the society chats.
That was a chatty society.
Let us know if you're from Indiana. Did you know about this St. Louis shit?
We got beef, apparently.
Yeah. Long standing that nobody remembers.
Except for us. I got to go mow my yard. Otherwise, I'm going to look like I'm from Indiana. Okay.
God forbid. God forbid.
We'll see you in a week when we're back with a real episode.
I was going to say, like, what is the next episode going to be about?
I don't know. I think this one is going to be the one we're immediately recording after this.
Disasters.
It's going to be a beast, guys. Get a cup of coffee. You're going to need it. Okay. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye. Who's that skanking on the stump? The love of your life and mother of your children.